What did your first recording setup look like back then? Or what was the first studio you recorded at when you started?
Not gonna lie, man, it was some nice studios. When I was young, it was just some nice studios, and I didn't think anything of it. It was normal. I was like, just this is the studio, and then it was like my grandma's basement. This was the studio. It was a nice studio. It wasn't like wasn't like crazy studios. I had to make myself get out of the house. That's when I like started being an artist in my head. When I got outside of the house and started running into different artists and different producers and seeing like real life outside of the house. But yeah, my first song was in my grandma's basement in a built-in studio.
Do you recollect what the equipment was back in those days or
It's probably some pretty nice equipment, man. But throughout the years, it just got my cousins just stayed down there, and they just sometimes they spill liquor on equipment and juice and get a fruit roll up wrapper stuck in something. And, you just leave it. And then, you know, it started just being like, a nice studio, but we just stuck a mic right here and now we got a laptop and it's the only thing we use. It's crazy, like the transformation. It was like a studio. You walk in the booth and this is the glass and then we just said, man, we about to stick this mic right here and just laptop it and trap it out. Not like that, but you know,
and when you mention your cousins here, cousins on your mother's side or father's side?
father side. Yeah.
Now, for time reference, it's September 2021 now. But what's your recording process like these days? Aside from just the laptop, pop the mic up.
Nowadays I don't think it matters. Nowadays I don't it matters less to me, but lately I've just been going to one studio and it's just been I like going to the booth. I'm not a outside of the booth artist. I like going in the booth. I don't want you to hear me, you know? Unless I'm recording myself, then I'll be outside the booth, but I like to go in the booth and cut the lights off and light a candle.
How often do you record yourself?
When my engineer isn't available, how often? Maybe like 20%, 20% of the time.
How'd you learn how to record yourself?
Watching and asking questions and being annoying. That's what it is right there. Watching, ask. I'll ask questions about everything, and then I tell engineers, I want it to sound like this. Then I come outside the booth and watch them do it, and show me how you should do that again, man. And they'll just show me, like I was so young, they'll just show me, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm finna not need you, you know. But they don't even know I'm thinking of that. But man, yeah, I just ask questions and learn because I knew I didn't want to depend on nobody, and I knew everybody didn't have the answers. Everybody don't have the answers. Sometimes you don't know how I want you to do something, and I want you to instead of me trying to, we might spend more time me trying to tell you what I want, and I just say, excuse me, let me try it, and I just do it. So that's why I learned.
How would you rate yourself, 1 through 10, on your skills at recording yourself at this point?
Pretty good myself. I
Yeah.
think 6, 7. Well, I don't like to pick. You can't pick 7, huh? 6.
You do 6.5.
6.5. 6.5. But I say I'm that good at recording myself because I know exactly what I want to do. And I think recording other artists, I definitely will have a difficult time recording other artists, actually. Because sometimes, man, they really don't be knowing what they want to do. And I understand that. Engineers are important, man. Engineers sometimes make the song or the careers. And yeah, it'll probably be difficult me trying to record other artists. People be on drugs. People be on drugs, don't know what they talking about. But as an engineer, you just gotta just do it, bruh. That's what they say. Just do it, bruh. And then the people in the room, his friends, like, you ain't hear him? And you gotta make something happen. What you gonna do?
Now, you mentioned in this conversation the phrase, my engineer.
Yeah.
Who is your engineer?
His name is Psych, the engineer.
And how'd you guys meet? How did he become your engineer?
He was Okay, so my cousin Shard the God, dope artist. Cousin Shard the God, he was recording him. He was recording Shard the God, and he was just an engineer. He called, let me record, or he mix, or he might mix his music. And then he was just, Syke was just like a cool, funny dude, and I just be in the studio just laughing. And then I tell him, can you pull up and record me? And then he'd pull up and record me. And then he'd not ask for no money. He'd be like, man, nah, man, I just record you. And for years, he was just recording me. Because I was so young. But it's like I just wanted to go to the studio. But I've had plenty of engineers. Rico Elite is a dope engineer. My bad. Rico Elite is a dope engineer. We got to get back in, but a lot of dope engineers. But Syke engineer, he's been my main engineer right now. He's very good.
Now, what are the characteristics of a good engineer?
Man, it's like if you record a lot of artists and you're a good engineer, you're talented. That's a talent because you got to learn all of these artists that you record. You got to learn all of these artists and remember them. And like, okay, I know you like this on this, and I know you like this sound like this. And you got to just paint the pictures that they describing you to paint. It's like that sometimes. Or sometimes it's simpler than others. Some artists just want you to press record. But, yeah, it's a job, man.
What makes a bad engineer? Are there some things an engineer does? Okay, this is the checklist. Definitely not using him again in the future or her.
Act like you know what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing. Just say you don't know what you're doing, bro. I come out and show you what I'm trying to do. I just ask you because you out there and I'm in here. But if you don't know what you do, I understand you want to do it because you don't want to not do it as the engineer. But it's all right. I'll show you what I'm trying to do, and then I'll show you how to do it, and then you just do it. You know what I mean? But, acting like you know how to do it and be like, no, I got it. Nah, buddy, you wasted. Nah, what you doing? I think that is, yeah, that's what it is.
Anything else?
I think that's it, man. And just not having a good vibe, not being a good person. Yeah, that wouldn't get you nowhere.
Now, at this point, you like recording during the day or at night?
I don't remember the last time I recorded in the daytime, man. Might have been to finish up something, but I haven't sat down and started freshly recording a song in the daytime in so long. It's just been at night. But now, I think I'm finna switch up my whole schedule because I haven't been recording for a long time, for like a couple months, so I might approach it a little bit differently. But yeah, I haven't been recording in the daytime.
What is it about the nighttime that kept you recording?
I guess it was quiet. The world was quieter. Well, the world is quieter for me. It's kind of darker. So it's like, in my head, it's like, less people kind of watching. And I could be myself a little bit better. Maybe in my head. Or it's just, everybody got off work. All my friends got off work. So we linking up at the studio after 9, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Everybody just came from the club, 9, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We at the studio.
Speaking of that, because you mentioned there's times you record yourself, and then you mentioned people popping in at the studio at night. Are you a loner in the studio?
Sometimes. Man, I've done it. It just happens however it happens, man. Sometimes I record songs and I'm the only one there. Sometimes me and my... You talking about, okay, what mostly do I do?
Yeah, mostly. Are you a loner in the studio, or you like people in the studio with you? I should have probably phrased it from the jump, but that's more or less my question.
I have a couple people in the studio with me most of the time. Most of the time it's a couple people. Engineer and a couple friends. Yeah.
And why do you like that versus being a loner in the studio? Why are you more so that?
Sometimes I don't. Okay, so I don't go to the studio. This might sound bougie and like real spoiled, but I don't go to the studio expecting to make a song all the time. You know, I just go to the studio, we just chill, we just talk. And a lot of times great songs come from that. Just chilling and talking. Yeah, but I just go to the studio and I know I like to chill with X, Y, and Z. I like to talk to X, Y, and Z. Boom. And we making a song. Well, I'm making a song. But a lot of times people walk out the studio when you record it, man. It'd be boring. Because I be in the studio. Well, for me, because I don't be having a lot of people in the studio. But, so when I'm recording, people just go to sleep or just walk out and be like, hey, man, I'll be back. Don't be back. So sometimes it might be alone. Sometimes it might be a lit night, man. You know?
I know you prefer in the mic booth, and when you are in the mic booth, you record sitting down or standing up.
I would prefer a chair. I would prefer a chair.
Why a chair for you?
Unless I'm like trying to project something a different way. But lately, man, I know this album I've probably been, this probably been my most comfortable natural album. Like my most natural album. I didn't force too many things. I went to the studio when I wanted to. I recorded when I wanted to. I sat down. Everything was just comfortable and confident. This album, just comfortable, confident. Yeah, I guess I was so comfortable because I was so confident. Because I just letting it flow, being creative. So I would sit down.
And what album are you referencing here?
Skydive. Skydive is the album.
Now, when you're in the recording studio, top 3 things you need.
Some water. I would love some water. Water, a nice temperature, and this aside from like my engineer, cause I'm running out of options. I would need my engineering, but I know how to engineer myself, but I would prefer my engineer. Can I leave out my engineer and just say that comes with the studio?
Yeah, we could leave the engineer.
Engineer's already there. Okay, so I'm missing one more.
Top 3 things you need in the studio.
Some nice beats. That's what I need. Some nice beats that go with how I feel in that exact time, day, place. A nice temperature. I don't want to be too cold. I don't want to be too hot. And what was the first thing I said?
Water.
Water. You know, some water, man. I would love some water.
Now, it may be my personal opinion here, but beats may be in the same category as engineer.
Dang. You might have got me, man. Okay, let me think of one more.
And if it's just 2 things, then
no, I'm going to think of something else. I'm going to say candles. I would like some candles, man. Because I don't want nobody to walk into my session and it smells like air and people, you know? I want you to say, what y'all working on, man? This music, you know what I mean? You got to smell nice.
Okay, let's dissect some of these items a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with water. What does that do for you in the studio exactly?
What does water do? Sometimes you just look at water, man. Just get everything you need from it. But nah, it's just good to I just like drinking water. I just like drinking water and just having some water.
Is it a particular brand?
You know, we get water shipped in, you know, like every month. I don't want to say the company, but it's a nice company, man. I love that water. And I've been drinking that water pretty recently. Yeah, so I would say I would like a specific brand. Yeah.
When it comes to temperature.
But if it's not, my bad. But if it's not that brand, it's not like I just won't drink water. But I know what I like.
Now, what about temperature here? What is the exact temperature you prefer?
Room temperature. I love some room temperature water. That's when you really taste your water. You know, a lot of people that say water doesn't have a taste. You know, I wonder if you're healthy, because water has a taste. You can taste water. Just just drink it room temperature and just try different waters, and you could tell they got a taste. Or it might not. People might don't care. People might don't care. I can understand if you didn't care if water was. What it tastes like, because it's not that much of a difference. But you could taste some water.
Now, I think you misunderstood me because
Okay.
when I asked about temperature on this particular question, this was one of your top three things you need in the studio. So I was more so speaking
Room
about,
temperature.
what was your temperature selection in regards to that? I think you misunderstood me and you were thinking we were still on the water topic.
We not talking about water?
Not anymore. I
My
was
bad.
done
What
with
we talking
water.
about?
I was done with water, but that additional information
You
was.
just let me just go on, man.
Well, I mean, now that you say
It's
it,
all right, but I like room temperature
some
water.
people might be watching this interview and wondering, is it cold water? Is it room temperature? Well, now they
Yeah,
know.
it's I like to taste the water, so it'll be room temperature. Or sometimes it might be hot. I might say cold water because I know it's gonna get the room temperature quick. But my bad.
No, it's totally okay. Now, when it comes to the second thing you need in the studio, you did say temperature.
The temperature of the room.
Yes, I should have been a little bit
Got
more
you.
specific.
My bad. I was talking about the temperature of the water. Temperature of the room.
Yes,
Maybe
is there a select temperature of the room you prefer?
I don't know, man. I don't even look at it. I just know when I'm too cold, I turn it up. When I'm too hot, I turn it down or I turn it off. I think it might be on 75, maybe. 75, 76, something like that.
Are you one of those type of people that's playing with the temperature throughout the session, or
Possibly.
you one and done? You leave it where you leave it, and that's it for the rest of the time you're in there.
That rarely happens, man. Everyone's always touching the temperature. It's a mystery. Who turned it up? It's a don't nobody see the man that touched the thermostat. But yeah, it's always somebody touching the thermostat.
Now, what about candles? What is that? Well, you already said what it does for you in the studio, so don't worry about that. But is there a particular scent? Is there a particular brand?
I don't think so. It's rare to smell in my opinion, it's rare to smell a bad candle. It's just like, man, I would rather smell this than just people in the room. I would rather smell this, you know. Sometimes it could be vanilla bean, or what we got. I think we had some different types, ocean spray, ocean scents and stuff. Nice, beautiful sounding scents, man. But yeah, different scents. I don't really know. I just smell a couple candles and those are the ones. Yeah.
Are you drug free in the studio?
Yeah. When I'm recording music, for sure.
Why drug free for you?
It's just like, man, I'm already an overthinker. And a lot of times people thought I was smoking weed or I was high when they heard my music and I was really young. And I was like, nah, at all. I don't do no drugs. And I see what they were talking about now. But, because my music could sound like, I'm high. But nah, I don't even smoke.
Ever tried it?
Yeah, I tried it. But it's not for me. It's not for everything, ain't for everybody. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. I don't like to smell like smoke. I don't like to smell like weed. I don't like to hold, what I'm saying, smoke. It's like, I don't like that. But I don't mind people doing it. It's just for me, I don't want to, let's roll up and then let me hold on. I wouldn't feel like doing that. I would rather take time doing something else.
If there are others around you doing it, is there ever pressure?
No. Not my people. I mean, it could be people like pressuring, but nah, they just know I don't smoke. Sometimes I joke and I be like, let me pass me the blunt. But they be like, nah, man. Like they know I don't smoke. And yeah.
Now, craziest studio story, if you have one.
I don't think I have one, but I'm gonna think of one. I was thinking of something else, man. I was still thinking about weed. A lot of people accidentally pass me the blunt, and I gotta be like, and it's like people like Like, you know I don't smoke. It's just they just like my dad. Like he was like he don't even look. He just be like, oh, it's like I'm grown, but nah, I don't smoke. But you said something.
Oh yeah, I was saying craziest studio story if you have one.
Craziest studio story. Craziest. Can you like tell me like what kind of crazy or something?
It's really in your perspective. So sometimes
Man,
when I ask someone this, it's something
I'm sorry.
unbelievable. Go ahead.
Crazy like okay, it's not like a bad crazy. Yeah, it could be. All right. So this is like an interesting crazy. So I'm in the studio. Man with a mission. Man on a plan. Man with a plan. Okay, I'm trying to record. I don't know if I'm trying to finish something that I started or something, but I'm trying to record, and we needed to be quiet. And it was like construction in like the studio, so it was like a hole in the wall up on the top of the wall back here. So it's like the sound downstairs sometimes could leak up. So it's like you need the room to be quiet while I'm recording. And then we was just hearing music, and we was hearing bass, and music, and it was in the way. It was in the way. I couldn't even tell what it was. I didn't even care. I was just like, what is that? We're trying to record. Can we tell? Can we get that to turn down? I told my man Cali, can we turn that down? Asked him if they could turn it down. He went downstairs. Boom. Music was off. Came back upstairs. We was chilling. I recorded. I got done with it. Then I went downstairs. My dad's engineer. He was like, hey man, you told me to turn Andre 3000's unreleased music off. I said, what'd you just say? He said, you were recording earlier, and Callie came down here and told me to turn the unreleased Andre 3000 music off. I said, nah, I ain't know. I said, I said, Callie, why you ain't tell me? And he was like, I don't know, man. You just told me to. That was crazy. That was crazy right there. I don't know what that taught me just yet, but that taught me something.
And for transparency, Callie's in the room with us.
Callie's in the room, man. Shout out to Callie. Everybody in the comments, shout out to Callie. That was Andre 3000's unreleased album, music. I don't know what kind of format, but and then I try to think about what it sounded like, and I just keep making up sounds in my head and try to make it seem like I heard it. I didn't really remember what I was listening to, but it was off, and I regret it. I want to hear it.
Callie, I know you don't have a mic on, but we can still hear you to some degree. Do you want to fill in on any of those
Well,
details there?
well, yeah, because it was like I felt like, dang, like this was one of his top rappers, that he really likes. So just going and do all of that, and then hearing afterwards that this is Andre 3000 engineer, and I look at the engineer when I walked in the room. I look at Elliot, and I was just like, y'all guys, music is loud. And then Elliot looked at me. He was just like, alright, we gonna turn it down. And then it sounded like something like it was out of space. You just hear a lot of just different type of bass, different type of noise, and it was just like, it
sounded out of this
safari.
world, man. It sounded out of this
So
world.
different.
I'm
And
gonna
it
let
was
y'all
just like,
know it
whoa.
sounded out of this world.
Yeah, man. Different level, man. It was crazy.
Callie is like a complete the mission type guy. He completes the mission.
Well, hey, man, whatever he say, man, I'm gonna get it done.
But that was a crazy I told you I don't know exactly what we learned, but we learned something that night, that day. That was crazy.